Hello, welcome to Quackalope. Thank you for being here. Today we are bringing you a Shelf or Sell
from North Miami
edition.
Beach.
Yeah, we're down here in Miami. We're not actually visiting the beach. We did spend some time traveling over the course of this last week. I disconnected a little bit from my phone. We ended up visiting 14 different board game stores across Georgia and Tennessee,
Nashville, and Atlanta.
We have some vlog content coming out on that, but this is our Shelf or Sell series where we break down what we've got, games we're adding to our collection, games that are leaving our collection, games that have been sent to us, and games we've backed on GameFound or Kickstarter, sort of the new wave that we're approaching this.
Yep.
Kind of a terrible way to start a new version of this format with one that isn't even in the studio.
Yeah, really hard to do the games we backed.
Yeah, I actually have that. That is really easy to do. The complicated part is the fact that this is the travel edition of the board game travel vlog, or the board game Shelf or Sell. And just for note, you can see next to us is one of the board game tables travel board game bags, because we legitimately use it when we hit the road. Yes, we're just gonna have a conversation with you here, and
let's get started.
Yeah, I'm gonna be perpetually distracted by people running by, sounds, noises. This is not a controlled environment that I like to exist in when I'm filming videos.
Welcome to the Moon. This is a game that we just added to, we picked up this week. It's a new roll and write. It's the third in the series. Welcome to Las Vegas, and Welcome to the Moon is the third one.
Yep.
I'm super excited to give it a shot. As you can see, it's still in shrink. We haven't had a chance to play it yet.
Not really one of the ones that is normally in the conversation. This would be a game that we've added, and kind of, I guess, our middle ground. Alex didn't love number 2 from the Welcome series, but Welcome to is a game that I have always been charmed by, but never actually owned a copy of, and I think the Moon just sounds super intriguing. So we've added this to our potential collection.
Another one that we've added this week to our potential collection is Railroad Ink Challenge.
Added to our potential collection?
Potential, I have to see all the other colors. There's plenty of colors. We got a chance to play this.
Let me ask you this. If the option is between, he's playing music. If the option is between adding 1 Railroad Ink to your collection or all Railroad Inks to your collection...
Which is it? All.
Yeah. So we've added Railroad Ink to our collection. It just happens that we've started with the yellow edition, which has a few of the little expansions. Every Railroad Ink color comes with brand new dice expansions. So we sat down at dinner a few nights ago, played this for the first time. I've played this a few times before, but you got to dive in for the first time.
It was actually really cute to play a game at dinner. Something we don't do very often, but it was really charming.
Yeah, it was a lovely game like Railroad Ink is. It's a fantastic little roll and write if you guys aren't familiar with it.
All right, next one.
This is Wreckland Run, which is a prototype copy that I have not actually covered yet, because I borrowed this prototype copy from Alex. Alex did coverage over on Board Game Co. I haven't had time, but we probably will be doing some posthumous coverage on this, because this is a game that I backed, and I backed it based off of, the knowledge of playing the prototype copy. So we just had this in our bag. It's a little solo game I'll probably dive into over the weekend, and possibly show Shira how it plays.
This one is Parks Memories.
This is one that you taught me how to play.
Yeah, what's this one doing in the bag?
I'm curious what your thought is on it.
It's going into our permanent collection because I really enjoyed it. I like the artwork, especially on the parks. Going to the national parks is a goal of mine, all of them. And so all the parks games make me really happy when I see the different parks. I like the memory game. I usually don't like the memory game, but there's different added mechanisms that make it not just strictly a memory game.
It doesn't just have to be a memory game. And every single expansion or module, because we have all 3 of them, not with us, but we have all 3 of them, they add new cards, new abilities, new ways that you interact with the icons in the game, and of course new parks artwork, which is what kind of the series is known for. Lovely little game, probably not one that I would keep around, but since Shira likes it and it's so easy to get off the shelf and onto the table, it is one that we travel with, and it's one that we like bringing with us.
It's also great for kids, and it's a great intro gateway game situation. HIVE, one that is leaving our collection.
This one's painful for me. I brought it down just to test Shira one more time to see if we could convince her, and it still hasn't been her game, which is really sad because
Power Plants better, and Power Plants is going to be coming to us soon.
I like HIVE a lot. HIVE is one of the first games we covered. I think we've already talked about it on this series before, but I'm disappointed that still it is not one that Shira wants to play, because if you don't have your main 2-player hanging out with you, ready to play a 2-player only game, especially a travel version, like this is clanky.
So clanky, noisy.
Sadly, Shira is not interested, so we will probably find someone to give this to.
A game that's going to be added to our collection is...
Are we adding? Like 100%?
Oh yeah, Tranquility.
Okay.
This is, so we played this with Alex and Rena a little while ago, and they claimed, well, they were comparing it to the game, which is a really cool...
Not a big fan of the game, honestly.
Which is a really cool card game where you're trying to put the numbers in order with cooperatively with your team, and you have to do it before, you have to do it by the last like couple cards. And this is very similar to that. You have a grid of, I believe, 7 by 7, and you're putting your cards in order. You have to do it without communicating really what cards you have in your hand. You have to have a start in the beginning and end in the finish, and you have to be discarding your cards based on how much gap there is between the card that you played and the card that's adjacent to it.
There's a price you pay for the separation, and so the interesting thing about this game, instead of like the game where you're just trying to do a memory sequence and waiting for the time to be right for you to play your card, here you're getting reactions and playing down cards and watching as the puzzle sort of evolves in front of you, and there's a little bit more flexibility and strategery when it comes to how you play your cards.
I thought it was a lot harder
than
the game, and I'm really enjoying it.
Cool.
Next one is going to be Viral.
Viral, the only big box game we actually brought with us on this trip. We just played this 2-player. You taught me how to play this. This is a weird take on area control.
We played it with the HIVE expansion.
I think the HIVE expansion is essential to the game.
I agree. I think it is essential. I think it adds a lot. I don't think I would play it without the HIVE expansion. And yeah, it's an interesting area control. We played it between the two of us. I want to get more players to it because I think it can be a lot better with a couple more players.
I really enjoyed it as a 2-player.
Yeah.
Now, again, I do think the new expansion umphs it up just that extra bit. It's shuffled in. It'll never be separated, even when we teach it to people. But in my opinion,
because it doesn't add any complexity.
Viral is a really interesting new, like it's a weird approach to area control with movement throughout the body, but these different lanes of combat where you are really playing cards to take special abilities and then shifting like where you can move and where you're spawning up and how you're defending your characters.
Bloodstream, according to like the red blood goes away from the heart, the blue blood goes back to the heart. So you're moving according to the bloodstreams or the lymphatic system.
Yep.
And you have to take control over different zones in the body. The brain is a zone, the heart is a zone, the lungs are a zone, digestive system is a zone, the kidneys are a zone. So it's really cool. And I like it as a nurse.
I really liked it. I thought I wouldn't, and shockingly enough, I'm not ready to say it's 100% part of our collection. Period.
No, I need to.
But I brought it with us because I wanted to play it again 2-player, and I want to try to get more people to sit down and table it with us. So having it is the way that you do that.
I also don't think it's such a heavy area control. Most area controls are super heavy to get up and running, and this one is much lighter weight.
Yep, for sure.
Next one is Paper Dungeons.
We have Paper Dungeons. So we've been going through a arsenal of roll and writes in this space over the last couple weeks, and Paper Dungeons is another one of those games. It's a game where you're going to be playing a sequence of cards. You're going to be getting special abilities and kind of buffeting your tableau, which is actually there on the board itself, doing your best to create a hero that can then like dive into the dungeon and take out the bad guys.
That's cool.
It's fun, it's interesting. It does merge some of those RPG style mechanics that I really enjoy, or the dungeon crawl type of mechanics that I really enjoy.
And where's this one going?
I really want to play this one with you. You haven't had a chance to play it yet. I also want to try it out solo. I'm not convinced it does roll and writes or does that genre of game better than other versions. The question for me is going to be theme and how sort of the powers and abilities scale that each one of your unique heroes starts to get. I don't know that this one is staying, but I do think it is a very compelling addition to the roll and write genre, and there's a chance that it lives in a collection of like 10 roll and write games that all make one really unique bundle.
Only 10? You think we're only keeping only 10 roll and writes?
I don't know. I'm not sure.
I think there's 4 at least. Welcome to the Moon, Ganchan Clever, the second Ganchan Clever, Three Sisters, the ship one, so many. So
we're demonstrating why this game may not actually live in the collection, but for now, I am really charmed by it.
Next one is Unbroken.
Unbroken, a solo game that I brought with me to learn. Not much to say about this. I just added it to my collection recently. Had a lot of controversy around it when it first delivered because they were working with like Golden Bell or something like that whole mess. But either way, the designer, the publisher, it's the same collective beast from Ultima Games. Really involved in the community. Seems like a pretty genuine guy. And I wanted to try the solo game out, so I got a copy of it to give a swing. Okay?
Cool. We don't get enough solo games to the table.
That's because they would involve one of us only playing by ourselves, and I choose to work typically.
Mountain Goats, which is a part of a series, GPS, Mountain Goats, and Sequoia. They're all games that involve rolling dice and organizing numbers, basically. Yep. This one, you have to get 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and the first person who does that gets the 15, etc., etc. Super fun. It's sideways and the backwards, which is why I'm turning it sideways. It's a lot of fun, and I think it's staying in our collection.
Yeah, it's part of the hierarchy from Board Game Tables, which has a sequence of like 3 different these size games. It is fun, it is cute, it is accessible, and I like it for grab and go. I don't find that I pull it off the shelf much at home, but when it's just in a bag with about 10 other games, this is one that holds its own when it comes to what might get to the table. So glad that we had it with us.
That's the end of
that.
Is that
the end of that? Okay, so the next thing I need is my cell phone, because we are updating you all on...
Oh, there's a couple of these.
Oh, we haven't actually played any of those. I didn't even know they were in there. I completely forgot.
Games that are in the middle ground over here are going to be Antinomy, Hórreos, Moving Pictures, and...
From her trying to pronounce them...
Lots of different languages. These are these little
button shy
pocket games that are super fun and super mobile, and we just haven't gotten these ones to the table. They're in the bag.
I love that you're like, we know nothing about these. Let me pull them out, because I found them in the bag, which means they must be talked about. Those
battery? Talk about battery.
Those button shy just sort of live there in the game, for the record. And there's a plane flying.
It's an advertisement.
Oh my gosh, there's so much noise everywhere. Okay, games that we have backed on crowdfunding. Final segment to this. And if you've watched to this point, I don't know.
Good for you.
Like, leave a comment letting us know what your favorite weird thing that's passed us by in this video has been. Like, dude on roller skates, you know,
I saw someone biking with
jeggings.
A dog, like, actually hooked into the bike.
Okay. I saw 2 guys that went back, saw us coming this way, and then I saw them stop somewhere in the frame. Got no idea what they did to the frame.
Yeah.
So, you know, leave a comment. Let us know what you know. Do you enjoy me being like a squirrel on Adderall? Just popping everywhere, very freaked out. Okay.
What did you back?
Stuff we've backed. We've backed, Shira. We've backed.
We've backed?
Stuff we've backed.
We've backed. We've backed.
What we have backed. Funny thing is, half of these episodes will be me being like, I wanted this, and then the other half will be like, I demand we back these 4 things.
Yes.
Like, yeah, it'll be a mess. Okay.
Tindaya.
First off, Tindaya, or Tindaya. This is a game that we covered here on the channel. It is one that I am backing and supporting. I want to have a copy sitting right next to Spirit Island. It's a worker placement approach to the Spirit Island style of escalating failure on an island that is slowly ripping and breaking apart due to a war with the gods and a war with the colonialist, imperialist kind of forces coming and taking over the land. I saw someone comment that it should really be labeled the Revenge of the Dahan, which are the
that would be cool. That native people.
What's the native people in Spirit Island?
Yeah.
And so I think that is a appropriate name to this. It really does fit, because instead of playing as the spirits, you're actually playing as the island people warring against them both.
That's cool.
The next thing that we have backed on
Game
Found.
Lobotomy 2, Manhunt. This is going to be a noise. This is going to be a dungeon crawl in a mental insane asylum where you are going to be getting different diseases like schizophrenia and ADHD and depression, and then you're going to be using those as superpowers to defeat the people and the monsters that you are encountering. I really, really enjoyed it, and I'm so happy that you backed it.
Yeah, I'm excited to dive in a little bit more, and they've unlocked some insane miniatures, models, and some like extra stuff coming. So it's one we have, or should have, a gameplay of once we get back in studio from this trip.
Really? You don't want to do a gameplay right here on the beach?
So, stuff we have from Kickstarter. Normally we'd be showing you this on the screen, but for now we're just going to yell it at your face. First off is going to be Dogfight.
I believe we covered that last week.
We did. They still haven't funded. I certainly hope they do. I'm not convinced it's the right game for everyone, but it really does do a smaller player count of the Captain Sonar style of game, which is what I titled the video around. And I think if you enjoy that type of collaborative but silent kind of open communication, this game does it very interestingly. I can't even see what the plane was advertising. It's very disappointing. Okay.
Focus.
Next, we have $1 in on Tang Garden's Seasons. Did you ever play Tang Garden?
No.
Okay. So this is one that I played when it first came in originally, and I gotta be honest, I did not have a good initial gameplay of it, which is why we're only in for $1 so far. I want to like Tang Garden. It is beautiful, it is approachable, it has really nice aesthetic to it. I mean, I can just scroll through if I scroll through the page a little bit, which is not entertaining for them at all,
No.
but if I can get this to load fast enough, then you would start
Still
saying,
not
"Oh, and ah, wow."
Still not
It is just. Oh, yeah, there we are.
Oh.
So I am probably going to end up full backing Tang Garden. I just need to do a little bit more research
Is
before I
Seasons
do.
of Expansion for the base game?
It is, yeah.
Okay.
So you're going to be able to get the base game and then all the extra Kickstarter stuff.
Nice.
And this is their last Kickstarter ever, which is what is pulling me back in. Even though I'm telling you, if you're watching this, don't be tricked by my lying to myself. I did not enjoy this game initially. I didn't. But I still think I want it.
Back it. Earth.
Earth.
We talked about that last week as well.
We did. Still backing Earth. Very excited for it.
Still funded. It's doing well.
Still funded. Still doing very well. And I really, really want to get the prototype back because it's one that I would like to play. We are backing
Unsettled.
all the new content for
I'm so
Unsettled.
Excited. So many new different planets.
They've released a planet that is just a vine-covered cacophony.
They've released a planet Blackout where you're actually just staying on the ship and Luna goes insane.
Yeah.
And I'm so excited for that one.
Yeah. We are still backing Kingdoms Forlorn, still going all in on that. I am waiting. I'm talking with the publishers now to try to get a solo gameplay up just in collaboration with them. We'll see what's possible or not. We are still backing the Tabletop Find It book, which is from a friend of mine, Kevin Grote.
There, you're just not. You're holding it off screen.
No, it's right there. That's
There.
on screen.
Barely.
That's perfect. I know where my screen is. I am considering dropping hand-to-hand Wombat.
Really? You convinced me. You convinced me the entire
Okay.
episode last week.
I need to go do some more research. It's still got 11 days left on it, so no big rush. No, 5 days left. Big rush. I'm not convinced I'll ever actually play it, but I love the idea of it. So
Does it have anything squishy in it?
I don't know if there's squishy
Okay,
things. See,
well-
there's research that needs to be done. Let us know, like, should we back hand-to-hand Wombat, or is it just not worth
I
the
think it's
research?
a great baby toy.
Okay, we also have a game called Deep Rock Galactic. Now, I am not convinced that this game is for me. I'm in for $1 right now, but I am considering going all in. And do you want to know why I'm considering going all in, Shira?
No.
Because currently there are 15, almost 16,000 other people
Wow.
who are currently pledged for this, and it's raised $2.2 million, which means as a board game media content creator,
Wow, we should know about this.
there's a strong argument that we should not only know about this, but have a copy eventually to cover,
Yeah.
because there's going to be a lot of people looking out for it. So I am actually considering going all in on that, just as a kind of gut check approach. Let us know if that's the wrong or right decision, because you know what they say about masses, crowds, and whether or not they're
stay
right.
far, far
They do.
away.
They say keep away from all crowds and all masses.
Is this there's another game, Dive.
Dive. This is not the dive you're thinking of.
No.
This dive is going to be based off of the RPG system called
More
Mothership.
RPGs.
This is an RPG hack. Now it's only like $15, Shira.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not that bad.
Yeah, but it's still another game that you're never
This
going
is.
to play.
I love RPGs. This is an RPG hack of the escalation fear system in Mothership, which is a space odyssey, and this is going to be an ocean odyssey. I want to support the creator. I don't know who they are, but I want to support them. I think it sounds cool. I like the idea of hacking RPG games, and I like RPGs. I am going to play them one day, I promise. And the last thing is going to be another RPG. Again, Shira, not that expensive, not that expensive.
I don't care about the cost. I care about the shelf space that it
Okay.
takes up in my shelf.
This is going to be a zine, so it's just like this big.
Okay,
it's
so it's
so small.
I'm gonna put it underneath your mattress, and we'll
So
see
small.
when you start to
All
feel
right,
it.
how about you leave my RPG love alone? So this is going to be The Fall of Home, which is a little RPG diceless.
We're still recording.
What happened? It like blinked.
It's still recording.
Not
Nothing
sure.
happened.
I have no. Did you see it turn off and on?
No.
It totally turned off and on. I think it either
So
maybe
distractible.
cycled. I think it cycled the card or something
We're
flew in
20
front
minutes
of it.
in.
Got no idea what happened then. Okay, either way, I was telling you that The Fall from Home is
The
going to be one that I'm backing. It's a
diceless.
diceless RPG system about, well, your home falling apart, about sort of where you grew up and where you were born no longer existing. So with that,
That's a shelf or sell on the go. Jesse, can you look at the camera?
hi,
Say goodbye.
goodbye.
You're so distractible.
I'm not
So hard
distractible.
to film with
I don't
you.
think so.
We'll see you next week back in studio, back with organization. I don't even know if this is going to get timestamps. I apologize in advance because it is so chaotic here. We have very little time. So, bye.
Bye.